Working. Working. That's what I say, working. Hold on. Everybody hold on. I've got to change the microphone. Settings. Video. Base by linear. You could be in the thing. Just be quiet. There we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. 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 What are we, 2 minutes late? Okay, it's only 2 minutes late. Sorry about that. Did you see anything there? Have you seen anything? That was the producer. He was changing the camera. I'm working off of the camera over here. I think it looks all right. It's not the fancy Logitech camera that I have. Thank you very much for coming. We're at Lewis Schaffer's kitchen. Look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a cotton shirt I got from a charity shop. Anyway, let's move all the way down here. Thank you everybody for coming to this late night live stream. I don't know if the earlier show was all right. I don't think it was. But I never think any of these are all right. I don't know. Maybe they're not supposed to be all right. Maybe they're supposed to be horrible. And maybe that's what I'm doing. I don't think I look that great. Do I look all right? I don't know. I got the microphone. Can you hear me, everybody? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you smell me? Can you talk to me? Hello, everybody here. Hello, FM Ghost. We're in Studio One, which is Lewis Schaffer's kitchen. Lewis Schaffer's kitchen. Thank you very much for coming. Marianne from Peekskill, New York is here. And Ian Higgs, I don't remember where everybody's from. I don't care. Doing 1,000-piece tank jigsaw puzzle is fiendish, Ian. Well, you know what it is? You get what you deserve. You must have done something in a previous life that's horrible. Actually, those things they're good fun. That's what people used to do before the internet. You could probably do it online. Producer sent you to the kitchen again, girl from Mars. Yes, she did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did, girl from Mars. Like I said, he's got his important stuff to do, whatever game that's playing. Hello, Lucy Van Pelt is here. Joe Sanders is here. Let me go through the whole list of names of everybody that's here. My mood is a bit better because this is a laptop. I have a laptop. I didn't even realize I had a laptop. Because my son, about 3 years ago, he fitted me with with one of those big box things. You know, it was like a game playing thing. So it was. I'm not saying it was a good computer, but it was a. I don't think I look that good. Anyway, You look good. 68 years old. How are you supposed to look good at 68 years old? I just got a haircut. Do you see the haircut that I got? I did it myself. I cut my own hair. We could talk about that if you want to talk about that. Gnome Hunter is here. Hello, party people. Perhaps this is a convention of losers. You got one loser here. You got one loser here. I mean, if you call this losing, I think this is winning. Fortunately, I think this is winning. I'm quite, I'm happy. It's something to do. You are beautiful. Thank you, girl from Mars. That she says I'm beautiful. That is so important to me. And I don't know what you look like, but I'm going to say you are beautiful just from the spirit. Just there are women on this stream that I have fallen in love with, just from the spirit that I can get from them, and some men too that I'm quite fond of. I have no desire to understand how anyone is fitted with a desktop. I don't know what that means. He has it's under the table in Studio One. In Studio One, you look like you've been crying. Possibly. You know what it is? I gained 1 kilo of weight yesterday. Remember what I did, that horrible thing? I mean, some of this stuff we're going through twice, but I ate a lot of bad food yesterday, and that makes you swell or something with gaining water weight or something. Thank you, FM Ghost. My hair does look good because I washed it. I actually was in the shower I didn't use any soap. I mean, I don't think I didn't use any soap anyway, but I washed myself. If you think that I smell, you can come up and smell me. Say, Lewis, can I smell you? Anyway, I'm wearing a shirt that I never ever wear, which I'm not sure is a good shirt. It's a super dry shirt. We like super dry. It's also like a tomato. He is also like a tomato. Maybe I had a lot of carbs. I had a lot of carbs yesterday. I still had probably half as many carbs as I did when I was eating carbs. But I had too many carbs, and it's not good for any of us. And I'm a liar because I'm always telling you people don't eat carbs. And then I went out and had 3 ice creams, a persimmons or a Sharon fruit, and a thing of bread, basically. And I enjoyed the bread the most because it had you could tell it had the most calories and the most sugar. I mean, it's vaguely sweet. Marianne comes in and says, let's remember to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. I mean, and also, my eyesight, it used to be perfect, and now it's not quite as perfect. And these glasses are now dirty. Or they're foggy or whatever. The eyeglasses are one of the biggest way. I haven't been outside in months. This is the 130th consecutive day. This is the 13th show, nighttime show. 13th nighttime show that we've done, and I actually feel more comfortable in here than I do in there when he's there. He's angry at me. He's super angry at me. It's like a teenager. He was never angry at me when he was a teenager. I barely saw him. But, now he's angry. He lived with me for a year, and then he went off to uni, and this is what it is to be a divorced dad. This is what it is to be a divorced dad. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to. So my mood is good. Tell me how your mood is. Let me express an interest in you as people. Okay, how are you guys doing? How are you beautiful women like Girl from Mars doing? Or hi ho Kermit, I cannot comment. I'm eating ice cream with banana, Cadbury's fudge, and toffee sauce. That is almost a banana split. That sounds amazing. But if you keep in mind that it's got a lot of calories and it's got a lot of sugar and you don't eat too much of it, you can eat anything. You can eat anything. I'm not like, I try to be very fixated, and then I break down. That's a song. Could be a song. I'm feeling chipper. Thanks for asking. So MC Scott Medical Cannabis is feeling chipper. How come you have a new name when everybody else is using the old name? Kermit, does that have carbs in it? Yes, it does. Ice cream. I mean, it will have carbs in it even if there's no added sugar, because milk has about anywhere from 4.5 to 2%. 2% carbs. It was an ice cream, Joe, in a chocolate shell. What is the question that you're talking? Are you talking about me? What I had? I had an ice cream in a chocolate shell. Well, I had 2 Oreos ice cream Oreo sandwiches, and I had 1 Cornetto. You know Cornetto. I've been listening and learning from watching your show, Lewis. Yeah, I think I'm helping a little bit. I had to watch people's shows. I've watched thousands and thousands of hours, and still I'm not perfect. I'm not. I'm Lewis Schaffer is no Claire. Claire C. I'm not that. I'm a human being. I know you think I'm a superstar. I'm a human being. I'm a human being who doesn't feel wanted. Maybe I am wanted. Maybe I'm wanted. Did you have a wibbly wobbly wonder, Lewis? I have one of those every day now since I started to. Oh, no, that's not what you're talking about. What is a wibbly wobbly wonder? What does that mean, Lucy? Yeah, even Mark the Rosian wants to know what that is, and he's from England, or maybe it's a Northern Irish thing. What is that a candy of some kind or a chocolate? I'll be putting these new notions into play when I resume streaming, having rebranded. Okay, well, keep on going. Keep on going. That's what I'm doing. I've got 130 shows. The question was asked, is this the right approach? To do 130 shows without breaking, to do 1 show a day, okay, and 1 show a day, and to do and then to do 2 shows. And Jay Plockford asked, is my African neighbor still going? Well, if going you mean alive? No, he died. He died about 2 years ago, maybe a bit more. He died. He was a good guy. He was a lovely guy. He was a lovely guy. And he was constantly sending his family in Nigeria money. And they didn't really weren't that happy with it. And then he just died. And then it was, you don't want to know how people end their lives. It's really strange. There are streamers that do it, Lewis, Mark DeRosian says. So the streamers that do 2 shows every single day. I could see it. That's Asmongold, my hero. He does it. And then they took him off the air, and he says he couldn't stream for 2 weeks. So he cleaned his flat. And I think that's maybe what I should do. Anyway, I'm not going to stop streaming, so I'm doing it. I'm sorry. I just wanted to highlight your kindness. Maybe if I didn't tell anybody, it'd be more of a kindness. I helped out my neighbor. He was African. He was from Nigeria, and his wife. And I'm not super kind. You know what I mean? I'm not super kind. I wish I was super kind. I try to be. It was a lolly. This is what Lucy Van Pelt says, the wibbly wobbly wonder. The bottom was half strawberry and half banana ice cream, and the top was frozen lemon jelly. That does not sound like a great combination, lemon jelly with that. But I'm going to say, I don't know. You think it was great. Anyway, Jay Plockford, thank you for trying to highlight that I'm a great guy. I don't think that I'm a great guy, but he lived next door. He was all alone. He was like losing his mind. And, what can you do? And then he gets put in a home and he dies. And I guess that's the fate for all of us. That's what everybody's going to be. They're going to be in a home, I'm going to say this, they're smearing their own feces on the wall. That's what's going to happen. Lewis, did you see the Ramones in Brixton? Good times. I have seen that. I think it's 26 minutes video, Girl from Mars. I have seen that. And that little bit, that when the Ramones played in Brixton, it supposedly created the punk rock music in Britain because everybody was there. Supposedly it was like when Jimi Hendrix played in 1967. It was one of those moments, and everybody, I don't know, they didn't imitate him, but they saw, wow, this is what we can do. The Ramones, and I love the Ramones. You know who might know about that? D.D. Plectrum might know about that. That's interesting. Why do you mention that girl from Mars? It's a sad story. It's really a sad story, And he had a guy who came and took care of him. His name was Simon. And this was during the COVID times. They were dark times, and this guy who took care of him. I'm not going to mention his name. I mentioned his name, but he was a reggae performer and quite a good one, and he was going on tour and stuff like that, but the things dried up. He needed the money, and he became a carer, and he was quite loving. He was a Jamaican guy, and he was a good guy, and I became friends with him. And like all the people that I become friends with, is that I basically forget about you. That's my worst quality. Do you do that? Do you forget about people? I forget about people. He was here. He was visiting him every year. It became every day, every other day, whatever. It became really difficult to hang out with him because he wasn't here. And if you look at the guy, you don't think he's the kind of guy who would be a carer. He was a reggae guy, and but he was loving and good. And then when he left and he quit the job and he wasn't here anyway, he'd come by occasionally and it got harder and harder. And it was like, okay, I actually should call him up. I'm going to write it down to call up my friend. I'm writing it down right now, from my neighbor, Elisha, Mr. Elisha. I don't have that many friends. I have maybe a lot of friends. I don't know. You're my friends. I do have friends, but they're friends who've decided to be my friend. That's what I'm looking for. Friends who have decided. Lucy says, I look 30, act 20, feel like 60. I must be 40. Just seen on a mug. I look 30, act 20, feel like 60. I must be 40, seen on a mug. Yeah, that's believable, because some people, that's paying themselves a compliment, Lucy, because you're saying that even though they're 40, they think they look 30, but they're acting 20, when the truth probably is you look 40, you think you're 30, but you act like a 20-year-old, possibly. And I'll have to figure out what the 60 is. Anyway, so Steve McCuff is here. Joe Sanders is here. Alan Williams is here. I wonder if I could make this thing larger. Do you think I could make the type on this thing larger? I don't think I can. Let me see if I spread it. I'm spreading it. Hold on. No, it's just widening it. I don't think that works. So what was I saying? No. So he was a Nigerian guy, and he was old. He died he was in his 80s, but he was a very happy guy. My Nigerian neighbor, and I would cook him food. I would cook him scrambled eggs and ground beef, the exact same thing that I would eat. So don't think I'm being cheap or anything. I'd make him scrambled eggs and ground beef and he would eat it, and he'd be quite happy. But what was the food that he was being fed? He was being fed a high-carb diet. Of course you'll lose your mind on a high-carb diet. I wonder if I could make this thing larger. I'm spreading it, just widening it. I don't think it works. You know what I'm talking about? It's on the screen here. I mean, I don't want to have to rely on my son for everything, but he's like, don't be vain. Just wear your gigs. Just wear your gigs. What does that mean? Wear your gigs. Don't be vain. Just wear your gigs. What do you mean by that? Oi, oi. What do you mean by that? Wear. Wear my gigs. I mean, what do you mean? Wear an ironed white shirt and a blue blazer? This is a radical thing for me, just to come dressed like I would be at home. I mean, not this shirt. I never wear this shirt. I should wear it. It's 100%. It's one of those heavy cotton shirts. Did he like potato chips, Lewis? Of course he liked potato chips, but I never fed him potato chips. Why do you ask, Lucy Van Pelt? I brought it up because your comedy is a little faux cruel, hard ass, but in reality, you're a kind fella. Well, don't go telling anybody that. My comedy, I don't know, is it faux cruel? I don't say that I ever hate people. I'm the opposite of that. I mean, thank you for saying that. I'm like a reverse Don Rickles. Don Rickles insults people and then says he loves them, and I say I love you, and then I insult you a bit, I guess. There has to be insults going on in comedy. That's what it has. Somebody's got to be insulted. It's not a nice feel. It's like that guy, whatever his name is. Like every guy. Core, nice big mug. Lewis, says Scott. Thinking of the Phil clip I sent you. I didn't see that. I did not see that. But thank you very much for what the last thing you sent. Please don't talk about sending me stuff. We'll get 1 million people sending me stuff on Twitter. Are you guys all on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? That's how you know that this thing's going. That this thing is going on. Lewis, you think women are horrible. I do think women are horrible. And you know yourself, Joe, you are horrible. Women are horrible. They bring an unbelievable amount of pain to men and to each other too. But at the same time, they bring a lot of joy, and they have all, they're girls, they're women. So I do think women are horrible, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. What are you going to say? I'm a misogynist because I said that? I mean, I had trouble. Remember, I don't know if I said it already, but I had trouble at GB News, one of the early days. One of the women there who worked there said called me a misogynist. And I said, how do you know that I'm a misogynist? She said, because you said it on the TV. I called myself a misogynist. That doesn't make it true. I'm a mass murderer. That doesn't make it true. So why do you think, do I think women are horrible? I do think they are horrible. I think you need to be very afraid of women. But that doesn't mean you can't deny them love and you can't love them. Am I right, men? Women are amazing, but they're capable of unbelievable acts of cruelty. And they don't even know they're being cruel. I'm not going to mention my ex-wife and those years. Horrible years. But maybe I was cruel too without knowing it. Well, everyone is horrible, says Gnome Hunter, if you think about it. Well, not us, obviously, but yes, everybody's horrible. We're all horrible. I don't know you guys, but you've done horrible things to people. Okay? We've all done horrible things to people. We should try to be as nice as possible, but you can't paint it over. Women are horrible. All men on GB are misogynists. Ask Judafruit and Goosey Lucy. Are they horrible? Why? Have they spoken to other people on GB News? Other men on GB News? It's like with women. What do women do? That's horrible. What do men do? I can tell you what men do. Lewis, bring a woman home and surprise the producer. He may be less grumpy. Okay. Now, FM Ghost, let's be nice this show. There's been a question whether you are 20 years old or not. You don't strike me as being a guy who's 20 years old, so we have to be as nice as possible. And I can't bring home a girl. I got my own trouble getting girls to come to my place here in Nunhead. It's hard to reach, and they're not interested in me. So it's two basic problems. I'm drinking water, hot water, with 1 teaspoon of sugar in it. Kermit. I have to admire the creativity behind those names. What are the names? We are horrible people masquerading as good people. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Well, I've said that before. Thank you very much, Mark DeRosian. I say, show me a person who thinks they're nice, and I'll show you a horrible, horrible person. Show me a person who thinks that they're a horrible person, and some of them are horrible people, but, but they're not. So show me people who think that they're smart, and I'll show you an idiot. Show me people who think that they're beautiful, and I'll show you an ugly person. Okay, so there we go. There we go. There we go. So that's one of those things. That's one of those things. Okay. Thank you very much, Kermit, for being there. Thank you very much. So what was I saying? Thanks, Gnome Hunter. It was a weird coming across one of your comments on a short today. I saw that. Or maybe Shanks here. I mean, he's changed his name a little bit. Do you think I'm over 20 or under? Which one? I think you're over. Or you're 12 years old. Just remember, when people tell you how good they are, the brighter the photo, the darker the negative. That's a brilliant way of saying that. That's exactly true. But at the same time, show me a beautiful woman without makeup, and I'll show you a woman who's... No, forget about the makeup. Show me a beautiful woman, and I'll show you a woman who is working hard at being beautiful. Show me a comedian. Show me a comedian who thinks he's funny, and I'll show you somebody who's not funny. I never met a comedian who was really funny who thought they were funny. They might say, oh, I've gotten laughs and stuff like that, but they're not funny. I used to work in a beauty magazine, and I used to see the women coming in there. I was like, oh my God, you couldn't believe how unattractive they were. Lucy Van Pelt says, you say you don't need to brush your teeth because you don't eat carbs, but you do eat carbs and you drink hot water with sugar in it. Brush your teeth. Well, where do you think, Lucy Van Pelt, Miss Know-It-All, where do you think the cavities come from? I have trouble getting women back to my place, Alan Williams says, because I only have one leg and it's hard to carry them from the van. I'm laughing at that. Does that make me a misogynist? I like that kind of joke. That's the kind of joke that I like. David Tell has a joke. If you're lost and you're walking and you want to find a way home, you ask a man with one leg. Because he knows the shortest way home, because he's only got one leg. But that is very funny. The point is, yeah, Lucy, Miss Know-It-All, I did call her that. She is kind of a know-it-all. At least to me. Like, she talks to me as if she thinks I know that she's talking to me. I don't know that. That's a question. Does that make Alan Williams a woman abductor? Because he made that joke. That's the question, half of my jokes were like that back in the day. You can make those jokes now, but you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared to go, it's a joke. The only problem is now, since they've done this, basically, hold on one second. Let's put this here. That goes there. Okay. Because once they started to demonize men, they believe that all men are doing that. All men are doing that. They're capturing women. When I was a kid, says Jay Plockford, on UK TV, all Americans on UK TV were the same as 3 or 4 actors. Americans living in the UK. Have you tapped into that? Wonder Woman. They were the same 3 or 4 actors, saying these 3 or 4 actors are getting all the work. I'm not 100% behind it. I'm afraid I'm not 100% because I'd have to cancel shows of this show, and I'm enjoying this show. So I have said I would do it, but then I'm not as conscientious. He's not back. He's been blocked, I think. I think he's been blocked. Vote Labor has been blocked. I was going to do it, and I think Kermit did it, and that's good news. That's good news. You got to block these people. No, I mean, not that I care. Not that I care. If he wants to come in friendship, girl from Mars, then that's fine. Okay. One suggestion, Lewis, you don't have to take it, and nothing wrong with your biopics per se, but up your pen game. What does that mean? Up my pen game. My pen game. Oh, what are you saying? I got a pen in my hand? I don't know. A nice pen maketh a man. No, that's not true. It's a sign of phoniness. Isn't it a sign of phone? It's a sign of phoniness. Having a nice pen. It's like having a nice watch. You meet guys who have great pens, nice watches, maybe a tie clip or something, and then they're broke. And no one listens to it. No one. Successful people don't overdress. They don't have fancy pens. They drive around in old cars. That's the top people. No. If you have a pen that writes well, it's ace. Well, this is a Bic. Bic pens write amazing. I don't know where they're made, but they write amazing. No need to spend a bomb. Well, I've got pens hidden here somewhere. Mont Blanc pens that cost so much money. Back in America, they were like, my father used to have to go to Europe because we were fancy. And he was a patent attorney, my father. You love a big pen? Yeah, it's amazing. Or a biro, I don't know where they were called biros. Anyway. And he'd have to go to Europe. And he would buy Mont Blanc pens and bring them back. And I have them. One of the few things I have of my beautiful, lovely, average father. I shouldn't call him average. He was a good guy. He wasn't a great guy. He was a good guy. When he died, nobody went, "Oh my God, your father was such a great guy." I don't know if they're going to do that with me. I don't know if they're going to do that with any of us. How many years left do I have to be a great guy? And you don't even know what can cause someone to be a great guy. And when you're dead, or even, I run into people now. Some people tell me I'm a great guy. Some people tell me I'm a horrible person. Am I a horrible person? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, maybe I was. But some people say, you were a great guy. You did this for me. And I go, what are you talking about? And you try to be a great guy, and it doesn't quite work. It does not work. It doesn't quite work. So here we go. Nope, if you have a pen. Nope. I'm not slagging Bics or Biros, but nah, I get a nicer looking cheap pen. Just saying. Well, you're just going to lose it. It's going to run out of ink. It's an absolute waste. Successful people. My favorite joke. The doctor, the proctologist is looking. Proctologist reaches into his pocket and pulls out a thermometer and says, "Nurse, which asshole has my pen?" Do you know that joke? There you go. So I don't know whether you know that joke. So Hi-Ho's doing a very good job. I enjoy a quill. A quill or a metal quill? A metal quill. Thank you very much. I mean, that was one of my favorite jokes when I was a kid. Doctor, some asshole has my pen, holding a thermometer in the thing. Okay. Refills, cheap, nicer looking pen with a refill. Listening to you as I type. I didn't know that joke. Okay, so you're laughing. Thank you. Have you ever stuck a pen up? No. Anyway, the point is, here is the point. The point is, a nice pen is nice. But then it's one more thing to worry about. Who was I listening to? Osmongold again. He did a thing. He says, I don't want to have nice things because you're constantly worried about your nice things. If they steal your bag and you've got nice things in there, what do you do? What do you do? No, Maria Antoinette, no. No. No, we can't get into this discussion. Don't get me started as I'm calm tonight. Laugh out loud, Blackadder says, Joe. Okay, you're calm. I think I'm pretty calm. Do I sound calm? I think I'm quite calm. I wasn't that calm earlier, and now I'm calmer. I'm so pleased we've got this thing working. I know the reception is not that good. It's not good, but it's still here. Maybe it's still here. I've been told that maybe I can improve it by the producer. I'm told. Anyway, I had to learn to write with a fountain pen. In the 70s were crazy. We had inkwells on our desks while people were inventing the internet. Yeah. Well, we didn't have inkwells. We had the pen, which was invented by a Hungarian guy, from what I know. I'm in my kitchen right now. I'm in Studio One. I shouldn't say it's my kitchen. I need to have some kind of imprimatur of greatness that I am operating from a studio. I'm operating on a studio. We're up to 30 people watching. That's good. That's really good. What's amazing about this show is the level of consistency. We got a lot of consistent people. I mean, people coming in every single day. Indeed, I believe that those people were not solely misogynistic. They are just horrible people. But men would kick their ass. Meanwhile, women can't fight back most of the time. Who are you talking about? I saw the name. I like Nick Dixon. But I could see he doesn't suffer fools willingly. He does suffer them. But he's not happy about it. And neither am I. I think he's worse than I am. And men are not beating each other up. But we can. And you've got to be able to beat each other up. That's the problem we have with women. We can't, there's none of that going on. So you girls think you can just get away with murder. This is what's his name said. Okay. So MC Scott says, oh yes, I did, funny enough. But even when we were like, what are those holes and stuff in our desks for? I remember seeing those when I was a kid too, 1975. There must have been like older tables or something. Okay, Lewis, Joe Sanders, I'm calm regarding stuff we discussed. Women. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got into a fight over women. Over women. Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. A decent pen is a weapon. Yeah, Laszlo Joseph Biro, Kermit says, his Hispanized Aledicio Jose Biro was an Argentine, Hungarian-born Jewish inventor who patented the first commercially successful modern ballpoint pen. I did not know he was Jewish. I didn't know that. Is that what it says? Okay, well, let's just thank the Jews, everybody. Let's just thank the Jews. Or maybe that invention was bestowed upon him by some rich Jew. No, it had to be thought of by somebody. The first ballpoint pen was invented roughly 50 years earlier by Dr. John J. Loud and was not a commercial success. Okay, well, you got to give credit to Biro for making it a commercial success. That's the hard part. It's very easy to come up with ideas, but it's very hard. Like my friend I'm not going to say what he invented, but it's very hard to sell something, even the best ideas. And I remember reading that they used to sell telephone lines door to door in America. Can you imagine having to sell a telephone? We've got this thing. It's a telephone. You'll be able to talk to people. Why would I need to talk to anybody? What about Xerox? When they invented the Xerox, they said there'd only be the photocopier, which they don't have anymore, whatever. But they would go, well, why do we need a photocopier? You know, they saw only 2 places having photocopiers. Okay, so he was the first to patent it. Maybe he was. Maybe he was. Well, why didn't somebody else patent it? How many? Were there thousands of people who came up with this idea? I doubt it. No, and the technology wasn't there because in order to come up with a ball that small, you probably can't even see that, that would fit into the metal casing. Okay, I don't believe that, Lucy Manpo. I have the heart and mind of a lion, but a weak, feeble body of a woman. Weapons is the answer. Yes, that's what, isn't that sort of like what I cried over? Elizabeth I. That's the person that we need as the prime minister. I told you he was Jewish before, Lewis laughed. Did you tell me he was Jewish, Lucy? Maria Antoinette says, FF's sake. I'm going to put my glasses on. Do you mind if I put my glasses on? I'm also gonna see if I can. This is why I don't wear glasses, or try not to, because I got to clean them constantly clean them. Let's see, is that clean enough? That's clean enough. Okay. Rank Xerox cartoon. I don't know what that means, Rank Xerox. The company was called Xerox that invented it. It was really called the Haldron Company, and then they changed it to Xerox. I invented the double or quits option for ATM machines, says Jay Plockford. Machines, but nobody will take me up on it. Yeah, that could be actually quite a good idea to make them, sell a lot more stuff out of them. I don't know whether they're allowed to do that, though. That's a shredder, not a photocopier. Why are you arse cheeks bleeding? I don't know. Prison is the weapon of choice for women. Yeah, sending a guy to prison. And people agree with that. About time you put your gigs on. Oh, gigs equals glasses. I did not know that. I have never heard that. Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Okay, Lucy is talking to somebody. I don't know who she's talking to, so I'm not going to read it. That's certainly how they cash out of life insurance, Kermit, says Gnome. I don't know what that's all about, basically. I don't know what it's all about. So what is going on in the news that we should discuss? You guys know the news more than me. People are always saying GB News should be back on, but I should read the newspapers a lot more than I do now. I ask my son what's going on, and it's just so much bad news. The economy is going collapse. The Labor Party are having this budget, and it's gonna be horrible because they're $40 billion in debt. And where are they going to get that money from? And you're going to say, oh, they're going to raise taxes because taxes aren't as high as in France. Blah, 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 blah. Where is the money going to come from? Lewis, did you actually need to read the news before headliners? I know it seemed like I didn't. And then that stupid man, I'm not going to mention his name. I did. I read every single article as best as I could. I've got dyslexia. Actually, I might, but I don't. I never said that. But I did. Okay? Where will the money come? It'll come from you. That's what labor believes in. They believe in taxation. They love taxation because they think it's their money. Even though they never made any money. They wouldn't know how to make money. They can only take a successful business and take it over. And then they charge, and then it goes bankrupt. So they said, we need more money from the government. So they take it from other successful businesses. High tax, low productivity. Well, they're not productive at all. The government, when I say the government, I mean that in an American way. The state, when I say that, I mean that in a globalist way. The state, they They only know how to take money. They don't know how to start a business. The government never started a business. Those counselors and MPs, they, maybe some of them were successful. The Tory ones were successful, but the rest of them are unsuccessful. So Mark DeRosian, high tax, not even low productivity. They're getting in the way. They get in the way of people being productive, basically. I mean, and I did read the stories, and maybe that's where the comedy was. Is people thought I didn't read the story. Maybe the comedy was they didn't want me to finish saying what I was saying, because maybe it was considered dangerous. It was dangerous, possibly. And so they would go, oh, and they would cut me off. They would cut me off. What's going on up here? Who are you talking to, MC Scott? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? You're saying, but spiking does occur and it's most evil. Yeah, but it is evil. It is evil. Men are dangerous. That's what I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about that. Men are, they can be dangerous. They can be. Is that what you're talking about, MC Scott? MC Scott, I'm going to check my my uric acid levels. I've got my uric acid level here. I just see it because it's here in my kitchen. I take this thing off. I got a thing from something else. I think that's how this works. Hold on a second. I'm looking for a tank that has a top speed of 23 miles per hour. Why is that? What is that related to? We can't make jokes about this because it has not happened to us. It hasn't happened to us. You won't need to go that fast in Wales. Dickford has ruined us. Who is Dickford? Is he the prime minister there? Or whatever you say, the first secretary? I'm sure that spike is from the postal STD kit. Well, what are we talking about here? Let's not joke about this thing, because this thing is like, it might not be perceived as loving. Can we move ahead? I don't even know, unless someone can explain to me what's going on. I'm not going to read out anything that because women don't like to see this. I don't like to see it either. I don't like to see it either. Let me just go back on track. I'm going to press and see what my uric acid level is doing. As I recommend all people do. Check your uric acid levels. Because that not causes gout, but it causes a whole mess of other problems, including other forms of arthritis. Ow. You see a little bit of blood? Can you see the blood? Okay, there we go. I never heard anything about this gigs thing. That's quite new to me. That's really Lewis. Lewis, where did you get that from? I ordered this online, I think. This is a Sinocare, and only half of it works. The other half is the glucose thing. I've got another glucose monitor. Chris Murray is here. Yeah, check your 521. That's very high. Uric acid. That's very high. And now, there's an actual belief system that uric acid has nothing to do with gout, really. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this? Anyway, they provide those finger prickers in the postal STD kits. Yeah, in all the kits. I mean, I've ordered them. I've had the kits before. I had the kits before. Let me see if this is... But this is another kind. Can you see this kind here? Can you see? It's got a little button on it. You pull it back. You press the button. Can you see? Ow. Actually, it doesn't hurt that much. It's just the idea that it's going to hurt. Can you see the blood coming out? Can you see the blood? I saw a guy do this on TV years ago. I'm not on TV, on YouTube, maybe 6 years ago. He had just had a show where he just like pricked himself all the time. Uric acid causes gout. Fructose and prunes raise the levels. Well, there's a belief system there that fructose, yes, fructose does, and purines does too. And I mean, with me, I find, meat can, but fresh meat doesn't as much as cured meat. Basically, 553. So that's basically the same. That's a bit distressing. I'm going to take a picture of that. It's a bit distressing. Anybody know anything about this thing? I used to know something about it. I don't know anything about it right now. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to take a picture of it. There we go. Basically, what I think uric acid does, I forget, but it does something to tell the body something else. So if you're on a very salty diet, maybe if you're on a cured diet, you're eating dead meat, and your body is going, "Hey, you're eating dead meat." If you eat fructose comes from fruit and other things too, and it's telling the body, "Hey, you're eating." Alcohol raises it too. Your body is saying, "Hey, you're drinking rotten fruit juice. Rotten fruit juice. You must be starving." My blood clots so quickly, I have been bruised fingers by the time I've filled the vial. Yeah, well, I don't. I've got really good blood. Even though they gave me a blood thinner because of whatever I had. I don't even know if I should continue to take that. Leo Kurz is on GB News. Why is he a coward? Why is he a coward? They're not asking me on for whatever reason. I've been blacklisted. Who knows what happened? Maybe they've just decided I'm no good. Maybe somebody said something about me. You don't know. Maybe it's like, it's Kafkaesque. Maybe they've decided I'm not worth being on TV. Maybe this is killing my career. Maybe I should have just stayed quiet and stum. Who knows what the reason is? Am I mad at them? I'm mad at the world because you never know these things. You don't know. It's like why a girl doesn't return your phone calls. They're not going to tell you because you're ugly. They're not going to tell you that because you don't make enough money. They're not going to tell you that you smell. They're not going to tell you that. That's the thing about girls. I was told off by my GP practice for taking my own blood sugar readings. As the same visit, I was taken off metformin. I'd already stopped taking that poison. That's shocking. You took your own blood sugar readings and they didn't like it. Yeah. Well, that's doctors today. It's not even the NHS doctors. That's the doctors today. They want to have total control over the lies they tell you. That's really amazing. Jay Plockford. I mean, I did a whole show on diabetes. I forget what it is. I was very high in my blood sugar level. They say that this uric acid thing is a problem. They don't say that, but I believe it's a problem. Cider is hideous, says Maria Antoinetta. It gives people vomit breath. Yeah, it does. It possibly does. I don't believe in any particular cure. I believe in success by eating the right foods and eliminating the wrong foods. That's what I do. Is it not what you secretly want? Who are you talking to? Me? And what are you talking about? By the time I get to you, I've forgotten what do I secretly want. Leo Kurz is brilliant. He is brilliant. He is brilliant. I respect him. And he's tall and good looking. I wish I was tall. Lewis, where did you get that? So you can buy that. I've got lots of these machines. In this package here is, let's see what's here. This is This is to see whether I'm in keto. But each of these strips cost £1. They cost £1 keto. And I think to myself, it's not worth it. If I'm eating properly, I won't need to be tested. Then here, over here, in this little bag is a glucose thing. It's for testing your blood sugar. This one I still use, but I need to get need to get new strips. I recommend this completely. I recommend it completely. But I also don't need to take the test because I know if I'm on a low carb diet, I don't need to worry about it. But like yesterday, I was on a high carb diet, and this is what Dr. Rick Johnson says. I think it's Rick Johnson. He says that even if you don't have any fructose, which can raise your uric acid, your body converts glucose into fructose. Dr. Rick Johnson from the University of Colorado. I got a lot of information from this guy, and he's like a real guy. Leo saying that his dad was killed by a meerkat was hilarious. I didn't see it, but he's funny. He is proper funny. Leo did a funny walking down the street doing an impression of Gary Neville. I could see that happening. He's just great. Maria asks, am I off GB News? Probably now. I mean, when I called that guy fat, I thought I couldn't be on the show because I couldn't get my Zoom to work. And then finally I got it to work and they said, do you want to come on? And I wasn't wearing a jacket. I wasn't wearing a white shirt. And I was in a really kind of frayed mood. And I was so angry at this guy calling. His name was James Snoddyson or something, or Musison. I don't remember the guy's name that I called fat. And he was saying that Jews are genociders. And so I called him fat. It's okay to call, The truth is, look what the Palestinian, look what Hamas is. Mathewson, thank you very much, Kermit. It was a bit of self-sabotage. If I had been in the room, I wouldn't have said that. Okay? If I had been right there. But I'm on TV. It's like us talking. It's not, who knows what I'm saying here. I said I was 17% gay. Not 17.5%, 17% gay. And why did I say that? I don't care. Because I don't care, really. I do care. Because there are times, it's like during the COVID, I thought my comedy career was completely over. And then I was saved by Martin and Andrew over there. But, so there I go through periods. And this is a period I'm in right now. That I'm like lost. Like I have no future in comedy. We got 30 people watching. That's good. I mean, I don't think this is the best for me to be here. The best is when you meet me in person. People seem to like me better in person. They could see when I'm kidding, or they could come up to me and say, Lou, I didn't like what you said. And I'd show some humanity, and I might say, I didn't mean it, whatever it would be. And I wouldn't have made an enemy. But here, if you take a quote that I've said, you can wind up hating me. If you're having periods, you might be 70% woman rather than gay. I'm not periods. Do we call it periods in this country? Am I missing something? Why are we measuring everything? Haven't even heard of uric acid. Well, you should hear about it. It's quite the thing. Mine is quite high, 500. What is 5 times 6 500 divided by 60 is 9. That's high. I think that's what it is. What is it? Now I'm not even sure myself. I used to be good at math, or relatively good. I mean, not compared to the people who went to my school. Let's see what it says. Hold on a second. 550 divided by 60 is 9.1. I am in the 8.33. Is that right? I got 500 anyway. 35 people watching. That's good. Is 8.3 according to Kermit. Thank you very much. That's in the gout range. Let's go over to here and Google window capture. Hold on one second. See if we can do this thing. Let's go over to here. Remember, this computer is very slow. And let's do gout uric acid. Okay? And then we'll go to, you can't see what I'm doing here, but I'm going to show this to you in a second. Gout uric acid levels. Okay? Okay, let's go over to here. I'm not sure that I set this up properly. Can I do this here? Can I do this? Window capture. I'm not sure that I set this up properly. Can I do this?